Leah and I met at an online business networking event last month. We then had a Zoom call, just the two of us, and I felt a real resonance with her, who she is as a person, and her business. And I found out that we have a fair amount in common. She lives in Calgary, Alberta. Leah has been supporting people with their personal development for over 12 years. Her passion and expertise encompasses providing experiential activities that foster a better understanding of self. She previously worked at and then supervised a wilderness treatment program for youth who are engaging with their challenges around substance abuse and mental health. Her background also includes coaching freestyle skiing, working in wilderness camp settings, and completing schooling for outdoor leadership and social work. She currently owns All Thrive, where she runs experiential workshops focused on raising self-awareness and building mental health resilience. Thank you for being here, Leah, and I'll pass the mic off to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, first of all, for having me, Scott. I've already enjoyed some of the talks you've had today, which was just great. And I love that you put this together. So thank you so much for that. What I want to share today with you guys was something that I'm really passionate about. And that is that I really believe that people have a great ability to control and influence their own lives. So of course, there's things that you might not feel in control of or things that you see as external. But I think we actually have so much more power over ourselves than we sometimes think. And the place that we have that power is in our minds. You've probably heard the saying, our focus or our mindset determines reality. I very much believe that. And I'll give you just a simple example to start. So last year, me and two of my friends went on a backpacking trip. And one of them went into it loving hiking and the other went into it not liking hiking very much. And, you know, the three of us throughout that day, we all walked the same amount, we all had the same bags, and we saw all these amazing, breathtaking views and had what should have been the same experience. Yet at the end of the day, me and my one friend loved the hike and my other friend hated it. And the only difference that happened there was her mindset and the choices she made about how she felt about that day. And as we go through life, every day we make these decisions. We create our own reality with the thoughts and how we judge things and how we think about them. And so, although I'm not going to say it's an easy journey always to change your mindset, I do truly believe that you can change your thoughts and the way you see your life, and that will actually, it'll change so much for you. So what I want to share today is this really simple but powerful practice that can lead to amazing healing. And it's actually based on an old Hawaiian practice of repentance and forgiveness, and it's called ho'oponopono. Don't have to remember that, you can look it up later. But the word itself means to put to rights, to put in order or shape, or to correct. And in many Polynesian cultures, they actually believed that a person's mistakes or negative actions led to illness. But you could perform things, rituals, to atone, and that would actually decrease that negative impact. So in the 70s, a woman named Morna Simeona adapted the traditional ho'oponopono to create it more to a general problem solving and this psycho-spiritual practice that people could use for self-help. So I've taken that. This is something I like to use in my programming as a way to help people heal and change their mental state. So ho'oponopono assumes that we create our reality and that you're responsible for everything. And that doesn't just mean the things that you think you're making choices about what you do with your day, but actually everything that comes to you. And so if someone were to come rob your house, the ho'oponopono would actually say that you put out some sort of energy that attracted that person to come to you. And I know that's a really big, heavy thought to think like, oh my God, I'm responsible for all the bad things in my life. But what's really cool is it also means that you're able to change and heal everything in your life by changing your mindset. And it's not complicated. This is a very simple practice that you can do very easily, even every day. If your thoughts and your minds cause these problems, they can solve them. And I truly believe that. There's even, you know, this amazing story. If you look this up online, you will see about at the Hawaiian State Hospital. They had a new doctor come in and he was working with these patients who were in a criminally ill mental ward, or mental ward for the criminally ill. And you know, they'd committed some pretty atrocious things, and his approach was not to work with the patients directly, but he actually just read their charts, never met them, and used ho'oponopono on himself. And he believed that he created a reality where they were, and that by healing that place in himself, he could actually heal them. And there were amazing results from this. Like I said, you should definitely look it up. It's very interesting. So one of the reasons I think Ho'oponopono is so powerful, as I mentioned before, it's about repentance and reparation. And I know that that piece of feeling guilty and ashamed for something is such a huge impact on mental health. An example personally was last year, I went on a stress leave for a while after I had a couple really hard years at my job. And when I was on that leave, it was one of the lowest points of my life. And one of the things I had to sit with, especially, was all this shame and guilt for things that I felt I hadn't done as good as I wanted, or people that I let down. And it's a heavy feeling. And shame and guilt, especially, they're hard to talk about. They're very isolating. And the nice thing about this practice, which I really like, is you don't have to go to someone else to talk about those things. You can actually find healing within yourself. So if shame and guilt feel daunting and something you don't want to talk to people about, this is something you can use to help lessen and heal from that. So all it really is 4 simple statements you say to yourself. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. That is literally it. You can say it in any order that you want. And what it is, so I'm sorry is about that repentance thing. It's acknowledging that you are taking responsibility for something that happened. And that's actually quite a powerful thing, to actually take responsibility for things that have happened. Please forgive me is obviously about forgiveness. It's knowing you deserve to be forgiven and knowing that you can move past things. You don't have to hold them the same way forever. Thank you is about bringing more gratitude into your life for the things that have happened, for the things that will happen, for the energy you're drawing towards yourself. And I love you is love for yourself, for others, for whatever higher entity maybe you believe in, the universe. And it's just those statements. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to practice a couple of rounds of this. I'd invite you to join me. So I'm going to say these statements, and after each one, I'm going to give a pause for you to say them. So say them one at a time. You don't have to remember them. And you are welcome to say them out loud if you want. You can also say them in your head. That's totally fine. You can keep your eyes open, or you can close them if that's easier for you. And right now, I don't want you to think of anything in particular as you say them. So, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you may have even noticed saying those words might have been hard, or it might have been easy. Something might have come up in your mind as you did that. That's something you can definitely, as you keep going through this practice yourself, you can keep reflecting and using it. And you, of course, can always use this as this general practice like we just did, but you can also use them more specifically. So one way I like to use them, in the same way that the Polynesians, some of their cultures believe that illness was because of things that had happened, I do also believe that modern disease, part of it is because of our mental state and how we hold on to things. And it's actually dis-ease, a lack of ease with ourselves. So if you change your mental state, it can also help your body. And the reverse is, if you feel things in your body, you can heal them by focusing this way. And so I'm going to get you, same thing, if you don't have to, but if you want to close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths. And as you feel into your body, feel for something that's maybe a bit different. And that could be a point of pain, a bit of tension in a muscle. It could just be something that feels a little bit off or heavy. And I want you to focus on that part of your body. And I'm going to say these again and leave space for you to repeat after me. And just let you sit with that part of your body as you say these statements. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you might have said something as you were feeling that, or you might have felt something as you were saying that to that part of your body. You might not have. This is the first time you've ever said it. So, well, you might see the impacts of this over a longer time, or you might have felt them right away. And the final way I'd like to use this with you today is I would invite you to think about a situation that's not great in your life. When I say not great, I mean, for right now, a very minor, small thing. Maybe it's something you're annoyed at yourself because you didn't do, or a minor frustration. Please don't pick something for right now that's a really big, heavy emotion that you're sitting with. This is not a great time for that, but when you use this practice in the future, please do feel free to use it with those bigger, heavier emotions. So one more time, I'm going to say these statements and leave that space to repeat after me. And as you're saying them, focus on that situation and let this bring healing to it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So thank you for joining me or indulging me in listening to this. There's a couple different ways that you can also bring this to your life outside of that, and feel free to make your own practice using these statements. Originally, these actually were said to other people, and it was used to repair relationships between family and friends and people that you cared about. And you're welcome to use it the same way. Think about your relationship with someone, and you can say these statements to it, and it can bring healing between that relationship.
Wonderful.
And so,
yeah, thank you so much, Leah. Appreciate that. Sorry, I just have to
no,
bring this to a close. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I can't say the word very well, ho'oponopono. I know I was sharing with her, I took a ho'oponopono online course this summer, and it's something that I use every day as part of my morning. And even throughout the day, if I think of someone I know that's struggling or someone that could use support, I actually just think of them and say those statements. And it actually does send that person good vibes in a nutshell. And it's amazing, incredibly powerful tool. So I encourage you watching to consider using it. There's amazing testimonials on even YouTube about major things that have happened for people in a good way from doing Ho'oponopono. And I'll just quickly say that I posted links for Leah for those of you that would like to find out more about what she does. And she generously gifted something towards the draw prize. And it is an empathetic communication online workshop for yourself and your loved ones. It's valued at $150 Canadian. So make sure you get on the draw prize draw there. And thanks again so much, Leah, for doing this today. I really, really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott, for having me, and happy holidays to everyone. Your mindset determines what they'll be, so please take care of yourself and be kind, like Scott Shirt said.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.